Hi everyone, Jesse here from The Movement Athlete, and today we'll be defining what the perfect forward handstand walk looks like, and we'll break it down into 6 main areas to look at. So if you have a sufficient static handstand, then the handstand walk could be your next move. Prerequisites for handstand walking would be to have a 10-second static handstand away from the wall in free space. You'll also need to know how to bail safely, because as you're walking in different directions, you will be falling. So you need to know how to do a handstand forward roll or to pirouette or cartwheel out of it. That way you don't hurt yourself. So what muscles do we use when doing a handstand walk? Well, we're going to be using our wrist flexors and extensors, triceps, deltoids, trapezius, the core, and we're using the core more here than in a static handstand because there's movement, which will require more stability and tightening. Handstand walking will also require a sufficient level of flexibility in the pecs, lats, and wrist flexors. So benefits of handstand walking. Number one, it's going to make sure that you strengthen your shoulders because now you'll be shifting weight onto one arm at a time, same with the wrist. So one arm is getting all of the weight for a little bit compared to the normal static 2-arm handstand. These are great to add in if you're doing circuits as a little supplementary piece on the side to add some handstand walks, and it ensures that you know how to shift your body weight while upside down on your hands. It means that your body is tight, you're aware of how to lean your body in a certain direction and have consistent purposeful movements. So the handstand walk is definitely a level up to the static handstand. So how long does it take to achieve a handstand walk? If you already have a consistent and sufficient static handstand hold for 10 seconds or more, it can take 1 to 2 months only to be able to achieve about a 20-foot handstand walk on the ground. And this is very variable based on where your handstand currently is, how long you're training it. It can take several more months or it can be faster. But if you already have a good handstand hold, it will only take a couple of months to be able to achieve a handstand walk 10 to 20 feet. The first thing that we want to look at when doing a forward handstand walk is a controlled entry into the handstand with an open shoulder angle and a tight straight body. Second, we want to look at the weight transfer. So in this case, we're walking forwards and you need to get the weight in front of your hands. So you've got to tip your body over top of your hands prior to walking. The third thing that we want to look at are the hand placements. So instead of sporadic random movements or trying to follow the style, but rather controlled, purposeful, consistent hand placements, just as we would when we're walking on our feet. A lot of this, or most of this, really can be comparable to how we walk on our feet. We have controlled, purposeful, consistent steps. Unless we're trying to pick up speed, then the gaps and the intervals change. The fourth thing we're looking at are the finger placements. So our fingers will be facing forwards, and they don't have to be completely 12 o'clock, but again, thinking about how we walk on our feet, we should not be everted or inverted so much. That may be tightness or weakness in the hips. So we want to have the fingers facing forwards because we can engage those fingers and it'll mimic how we walk on our feet. Fifth, let's look at the arms. Now in a handstand, our arms are locked, and when we're placing the hands and we're lifting up the elbow and bending it and placing it down on the floor, there will be a slight bend. Again, thinking back to walking, we don't lock our knees out and do a completely lock-legged walk. There is a bend, a lift, a straightening as we place down and go for the next stride. And sixth up, I want us to focus on the legs because they should be together and straight instead of apart, bent, loose. So engaging the legs, meaning quads and adductors, as well as the glutes, while you're doing your handstand walk will be important. Thanks for watching our video on the ideal forward handstand walk, where we broke things down into 6 main areas to look at to define what should we look at and pay attention to with the forward handstand walk. And stay tuned to watch our other upcoming videos. We'll have one on forward handstand walk progressions, starting from the novice level of just planking and shifting weight, and we'll end up all the way into the forward handstand walk. So thanks for watching our video on the ideal forward handstand walk, and we'll catch you on our next videos. One thing that we've realized from training thousands of calisthenics athletes is that if your training is not personalized, it can hinder your progress, leave you injured, stuck, or plateaued. With the movement athlete, instead of having beginner, intermediate, and advanced exercises, we have exercises that'll be tailored specifically to you. It's also important to be well-rounded with your training. For example, some people have really strong legs, they might have weaker arm pulling muscles, or are lacking the shoulder mobility for handstands. You are a unique individual, and your levels of strength, mobility, and flexibility are different from everyone else's, and your training should reflect that. If you want to build skills, get stronger, and do it in a holistic way that will keep you healthy for years and help reduce injury, you've got to personalize your training. But the reality with personal training is that it can be pretty pricey, and it's often not available for what you want. And that's why we created the Movement Athlete Assessment.